Did you worry you would miss this Facebook Live of me today on Wednesday? Probably not so much, but you might have other things to worry about on a regular basis, and that's our topic today. How do you deal with your worries? And before we dive into the topic, as always, a little bit of housekeeping here on this amazing group. We are growing, and this is awesome. Thank you so much for joining our little group where it's all about implementation and taking action to get from where you are right now, tired and exhausted, to be more productive and energetic. And we will talk about all kinds of aspects on what might be the issue and why we're not moving forward the way we want to. April is almost upon us, and April is always spring cleaning month. And I don't know about you, but I don't really like cleaning, but I guess we have to do it, right? Especially now that we're at home so much, you know, like everything gets dirty all the time. So let's do this together. Let's do a spring cleaning challenge during the month of April. We will kick off next week after Easter, give you a break for Easter. But I already have a download for you with the spring cleaning calendar, and I've broken it up in little chunks for you, every day something else, so that it's not too overwhelming. And I would suggest you go download that before the month ends so that you are ready to dive in. Maybe you're planning on doing some cleaning over Easter, so hurry and download this so you're all set up to go. And also some more housekeeping. Make sure that you put this group into your favorite groups. Turn on your notifications so that you know that I'm going online. Because with Facebook, you know, it's always challenging. The algorithm is always changing, and a lot of people don't see the content of the group. So make sure you turn on your notifications, so pin it to your group. And then you always know what's happening here. And I see people coming on. Thank you so much for being here and watching this live. And if you watch the replay, thank you for that as well. All right, so that was my little spiel every time before the topic. So let's dive into worries. Okay, so worries are a huge energy suck. Right? They suck the life out of us because we're busy in our mind thinking of all kinds of things that, you know, we could possibly worry about, which is like a million things and probably even more. And you probably also know this, and you can feel it, that the more you worry, the less energetic you are, and the more you feel lethargic and not wanting to take any action. And that's really, it's like a spiral that we're into when we tend to worry, when we tend to ruminate, you know, and it's really not beneficial for us on many, many levels. So do you worry a lot? Do you worry about anything at all? And all of these things and that might happen or could happen in the future, you know, every possible thing that can come up in the next little while. If you do, you're not alone. Like many of us worry, especially as women, we tend to worry about all kinds of things all the time. And it's just so not good for us. To worry about things that might happen in the future, ruminating or having ruminating thoughts don't make any sense whatsoever. We evaluate past situations and we start to beat ourselves up, you know, with all these things like, I could have done this, I could have said that, I should have not done this, I should have done this. And, you know, it doesn't lead anywhere because we can't change the past anyway. And we don't know the future yet, right? So we don't know what's going to happen in the future, and we can't change the past. So it doesn't really make sense to worry, and still we do. So what type are you? Are you the worry kind, or are you the ruminator kind, or are you both? So worry is about all the things that happen in the future or might happen in the future, and a ruminator are all those people who analyze the past and the past actions and everything like what they could have done differently or better or whatever. So post in the comments below if you're a worrier or a ruminator. And I'm not sure if that's the word, I just made that up, but I think it fits, a ruminator. Or are you both? Maybe you're both, right? So let's check in and see what type of person you are when it comes to worry. And when my eyes go a little bit off script here, it's because I see that there are comments coming in. I'm trying to figure out how to see them, and I don't know exactly how to see them. So I apologize for getting distracted. So worry doesn't serve us at all. It is good for nothing, and I said this at the beginning. It just brings stress and a feeling of being unsafe in our body. Because when we worry and we feel like we are out of control and we need to control a situation, we're launching a stress attack in our body. And if we worry a lot, it's probably chronic. We're chronically stressed about all the things we worry about. And our body feels this. And our body feels like, oh my God, she's not safe. There's so many concerns to her safety. So we better keep up the stress response. And we, allocate all the resources we have to keep the stress up to make sure she is safe. And my coach always says to worry, it's negative, fake worry. And it is. It's negative and it's fake. It's not good for anything. It's negative because it's never good, right? Worries are never good, not feeling and not in words. And fake because it's not real. It's nothing that is really happening at this moment. And it's in our head completely. And it has no substance in reality because it is not a situation that is currently at hand. It's not in the present moment, right? I said this earlier. It's either in the past when we ruminate or it's in the future. We worry about something that might happen. But it's never in the present moment. So present moment doesn't know worry. And for us, being in the present moment is really the place to be when we want to feel less stressed and we want to get healthier or stay healthy. We really do have to be in the present. So changing our mind and getting rid of negative fake worry is a good goal to have in many ways. And it might take us a while. We can't change overnight, but it's a really good goal to have and to work on. And in terms of energy, it's a huge driver. Just imagine if you would never worry or ruminate again. That would free up so much energy that's currently trapped in your body because it needs to keep you safe and it needs to, launch this stress and keep the stress response up. But if we don't have it anymore, we have all this energy all of a sudden that we can spend the way we want to. And let's be honest, that's much nicer, isn't it, than worry about stuff that's not going to serve us at all. So agree with me or not, just thumbs up or thumbs down. So anyway, that's my little spiel to worry. It really doesn't serve us. It's not good for anything. And it's really for us being in the present moment and not worry too much about these things. So let's talk about a little bit of tips. So what can we do if we feel we're worrying a lot or we're ruminating a lot? We can't really think our way back to safety. So we can't really go and say now, I'm thinking, I'm not going to worry anymore, or I'm not going to ruminate anymore. I'm not going to do this. And so everything will be better. But it probably won't, because your body still doesn't feel safe just because you decided to tell you that. Right? We have to feel it, actually. We have to feel that we don't worry. And that's a lot harder when we get started, that we actually feel that we're safe. And feeling our emotions is really the big gateway for everything that we need to change mentally. Our mindset, our stress response, we do need to feel it because our body processes it and our body gets rid of it, and not so much our mind, because our mind is the place where it happens in the first place, right? It's this like negative stuff we're making up, so it's not serving us. So trying now with the mind to solve it is also not going to work. Okay, so we need to get into our body to feel our emotions around it. So how do we do that? We feel what we actually feel when we worry, and we sit with those feelings, and we don't judge. We don't start the talk again in the mind, oh my God, it doesn't feel good. And now I'm thinking again about this, and I didn't want to think about this anymore. And oh, I feel shame because I said something that I shouldn't have. Whatever it is, don't judge. Just feel it, and it might not feel good, but just sit with it and don't judge it. Let those feelings pass through your body, and try and keep your mind calm as much as possible when you're in that situation. And then after you've done that, you reflect when you're much calmer. Could you control the situation or could you not? Especially when you're thinking about the past and you're ruminating, was it in your control or was it not? And if it's not in your control, if it's nothing that you could have done, you have to accept it. There's no other way. You have to accept it as it is and what will be. In the future, things will happen. We can't control them, right? So we have to accept. So there are two things. Either we can control them or we can't control them. And if we have difficulties with accepting the fact that we can't control things, meditations have proven to be really beneficial for that, to cultivate acceptance. That's then something we really have to improve and work on, that we can actually accept things that we can't change. And journaling helps a lot, writing down our thoughts and feelings. And I had a post recently about journaling, so you can check that out if you want to. So writing down our feelings and our thoughts will actually activate a different part of the brain that will help us deal with the worries better and than just thinking them. Because you translate something again into a bodily action, like your hand moves, your finger moves when you're writing. So it activates a different center of the brain that's actually helpful for us to process this and get rid of worrying. And another very powerful tool is reframing our thoughts. So we don't want to get stuck in mind jail. That's how I call it. That's what happens when we're thinking the same worrisome thoughts over and over again, right? And it's just not going anywhere, and it's just like a big loop. So let's sit with those thoughts for a while, and we can try to think how we can turn our thoughts around. That's really what I wanted to tell you today. So for example, and I'm just making this up right now to give you an example. For example, if you constantly say, I'm so tired and frustrated and I worry it will get worse if I don't take action, you can always turn this around and you can say things like, I'm more exhausted right now at this point than I want to be, but my priority right now is to not let it happen that it gets worse. And with that, you basically told your body you decided on a priority. And it has a positive spin because you've already told your body, hey, there is a way out. So it's not going to get worse because you don't let it get worse. So you take the worry away, and also you can control it. This is something you can really control, right? Because you can take action and you can start improving your health so that it doesn't get worse. So you don't have to stick with this thought like, oh, I feel it gets worse. You can reframe it to make it more positive and tell your body, hey, right now it's not great, but it'll get better and I will make it a priority to work on it. And that works with everything, so you can just fill in your blank that you need to fill in. And I give you an example now for things that you can't control, that are out of your control, right? Where you cannot do anything about it. So let's take the example, for example, I'm afraid that COVID will stick around for another year and I'm cooped up at home and I would feel miserable. Okay, so you can't control it, right? We can't control if COVID sticks around another year. It would totally suck, but we can't control it. So we have to accept it. There's no other way. There's nothing we can do. So now we can turn the phrase around that we are having in our head, and we can think, so even though COVID is around right now, it will eventually go away. And in the meantime, I will use my time to do, I don't know, renovate my bathroom, or to make my home pretty, or buy a new house, or I will work on my health. I will work on a project I always wanted to do, right? So you reassure yourself that in the end it'll be good, it will have a positive ending, and you put an action point in there. And in the meantime, I can do, and then you fill in the blank, whatever you want to do. Okay, so we accept the situation as is, but we put a positive ending to it, and we fill in the blanks with something that we can control and that we're looking forward to doing. And if we practice this a little bit, we will feel like the worry is starting to fade away, because there's no reason for worry to stick around if we're getting really good at reframing our thoughts. This is a muscle we have to train. It's not going to work the first time, but this is really something where we can get out of worry for good if we practice this. So really the key here is we need to get to have distance to our negative, fake worry thoughts. Okay, we have to get the distance, like don't stick with it. We have to ponder over our thoughts, like why are we thinking those? And we have to find the evidence. Is it actually really true, what I'm thinking? Am I 100% sure that that's what happened in the past, or that that's going to happen in the future? Like, is this really reality? And most of the time, we have to tell ourselves that no, it's not. It's just what we think will happen. Or we just want to be prepared for something bad to happen in the future. Or we didn't like our behavior and something that happened in the past, right? That's really what's behind it. But we have no evidence that that's actually so. And if our answer is no, that we don't have the evidence and we're not 100% sure that that's the truth, we have to go and reframe our thoughts and find the positive spin on it and really tell our body, nope, I'm not going to worry anymore because it's not beneficial, it's not helping anyone, and I just want to live in peace, and I want to be able to accept things I can't control, and I want to take action on those things that I can control. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Please like this video, share it with friends and family if they should hear this message too. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And I will see you again next week.